Movie notes on What We Don't Say, 2019 film, 2022 viewing, no, 22 June 2024 viewing, so a 22 and a 24. Today's Saturday, 22 June 2024. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And these are my movie notes for viewing of this movie, What We Don't Say. My description is it's a fiction film about a man, a cartoonist, and a woman interested in journalism who meet through their work and their adventure into an intimate relationship. So, as a general note, it doesn't have a rating. It's not rated like G, PG, PG-13, R, X, that kind of stuff. It doesn't have a rating. And growing up, it was, well, anything not rated, the topic is always sex. Yeah, sex and being sexual does feature prominently in this movie. So, in that sense, it is true to the not rated stereotype that I grew up with. So in that sense, cinema hasn't changed in my over 31.00 years of existence. But just some people might be interested in that. All right, and so this is it's a film that portrays two people in this relationship, and it doesn't really, where I think the title of the movie comes from is it'll show the conversation that's had, but it doesn't put interpretation in with what's happening. So it allows the viewer to kind of fill in, okay, what's going on, what might be going through their minds, and then the next scene comes, and sometimes there's an answer to that, and sometimes there's not, so to speak. So I was going to highlight a few of the things. So there's a scene on a Ferris wheel where the woman, pulls out a big ring and gives it to him. Something not said. Does it count as a marriage proposal? I would guess not a guarantee of her hand in marriage, as the woman of the character's type I've met in real life tend to take 5+ years to get engaged. The man would have proposed earlier if it was a guarantee she was offering. So I'm saying, essentially she pulls out this ring. Does it count as a proposal? 1. 2, if sometimes, like a woman might do that as like a guarantee that she'll say yes if he proposes, kind of thing. But I would guess not, because the women I've known in real life of the woman's character, the type, it takes them like 5+ years to get engaged. They're not that forward, is my way of saying it. So I'm gonna guess not. But it does it count as a proposal? I'm gonna get to that later when I talk about a long-haired wiener dog man and a potential future with my boyfriend Josh Kerr, where I get locked down with a long-haired wiener dog man. Okay, so I got creative with this one. Okay, the next one is about the movie. There's a sequence where two women asked why the guy met up with one of the women, and neither woman put together he showed up to get the box as communicated. Each are quick to blame the man / imply he is the problem, when in reality they just cannot remember / figure out what they said or what was said in a timely manner. So essentially this person's like, an ex is like, do you want your stuff? It's in a box. Come get it if you want it. And then he shows up to get the box, and she's like, why did you even show up? And it's like, well, duh, right? The box, honey. And then he invites his current lady over, and it's like the exact same. Why did you meet up with her? It's like, the box. And he even says, I met up with her to get the box. Here's the box. And points. He has this box, And it's just like, some women, well, people in general, right? They're just like, he literally says the box. And especially the person who calls the meeting together, right? So he can get the box. And I'm just like, how batshit dumb, right? Okay. But so clearly team man in this woman, but the battle of the sexes, clearly team men, because the women were just ditches and couldn't figure stuff out. Also, woman, so in the relationship, wears ripped jeans in the movie. I'm actually going to point this one out because Ed Sheeran put on the YouTube channel, Ed Sheeran, there's a music video going back for a 2014 recording of the song Photograph that he put out. And there's a lyric in there about ripped jeans. I have not ever had a pair of ripped jeans. So I was like, that's another I have not done, right? That the main female character had done. She had a pair of ripped jeans. I have had ripped capris, though, just not ripped jeans. So I did want to put that one out. I was like, I know that I have not. Me, Tanis Coralee Leonhardi. She, her, hers of Seattle. A, she, her, hers of Seattle. Okay. And then this is one that I thought kind of needed to be brought up. Is for women with this temperament, they are very predictable and they like to incentivize weight loss protocols or weight regulation protocols in association with having sex. And the woman and the lead in this woman does it. So the woman only smokes after she has sex with a man, though does not smoke after she cheats on the guy by having sex with one of his best friends. So she turns out to be the cheater type. So if she uses the cigarettes for weight control, perhaps she blames the man/men for any corresponding weight gain, right? You know, she cheated, so she doesn't have that cigarette, and then she goes on to blame the men after the fact because she gained weight, because, you know, that's just how it works in her mind. But they didn't show that part on screen, but, like, that's how they work in reality. So, okay. The man so that she's dating has a name that starts with a B. And the male friend she has sex with, so the guy she cheats on, the guy she's in the relationship with, the friend. So the male friend she has sex with has a name that starts with a C. Perhaps she is just working her way through the alphabet. Maybe up next is a D that she cheats on with an E. There we go. Is there a repeating formula here? Okay. So those are my movie notes, and then the extrapolation back to the well, maybe I don't want to stumble across like an engagement, like an accidental engagement, right? Like she accidentally proposes to this guy by pulling out this big ring on the Ferris wheel. So how do I avoid doing that? So I'm going to take it a little bit further. Extrapolation of the what we don't say principle. Can we do this with something that's taboo to talk about? How about a pandemic with a set lockdown duration of 1.25 years at onset? You know, society and the government and the medical industry are like, you know what? Everybody just follow the dang rules. 1.25 years, you're on lockdown, okay? Yet you don't have to do the vaccine thing. That's not mandatory as long as you follow the rules, as we learned with a recent pandemic, okay? So it's like, just follow the rules for 1.25 years. No shortening nor elongating. So no. And we all get to hold each other accountable. Right? Like this idyllic world of checks and balances. Nobody cheats. Okay. So what might this look like for my life with living with my boyfriend, Josh Kerr? Okay. This is what I could come up with. I get locked down. The lockdown gets implemented when staying with my long-haired wiener dog man. His name starts with an R. Okay. During a competition he is taking part in France. Part of field work for my writing. Okay, so this is work related. Leon Marchand is 2 doors that way. So if we're facing, like if I'm facing the door where I'm staying with the my long hair wiener dog man, 2 doors that way is Leon Marchand. Okay, so news comes and it's locked down. What is our suite setup? So it's gonna be a suite, right? There's gonna be a bed for each of us, a kitchenette, a bathroom with a door that closes, and big windows and a table. Maybe even a TV. Oh, we're living large for this French competition. And then when we get locked down, so we can't even leave the room, or we can go out. But if we go out, or and like the competition was in France, and we get locked down and it was in the summer, and we get locked down for 1.25 years. And the only cold weather gear I figured out to bring with me is my deck coat because it's swimming competition. So even if it's wintertime, this is what I go out in. I go out in my swimming pool deck jacket, deck coat, where this is when I was 8 and under. Yeah, with Grace Society with our present. So we're like, we can still go get groceries, right? We'll walk into the grocery store in our deck coats. Okay. And then tying about engagement thing. What if we want to get married? So all of a sudden we're stuck in a room together. It's like, maybe we should get married. And we want to get married. And like we really want to get married, but we want to get married in Erduig. So how do we discuss it? Since Erduig isn't even in the same country. Like, so it's not going to happen for this 1.25 year duration. How do we go about it? Right? And especially if Attila Salai is going to be the first guy I marry, how do we discuss it without accidentally proposing in advance? So that takes me to YouTube videos. Maybe my long hair wiener dog man with a name that starts with an R starts up a YouTube channel, and he does a podcast every day. And we play around with YouTube videos. Like, we film different videos, but then we hide in the room as the videos are being filmed, like to see if we can, if our presence actually does result in a reflection in the video while filming. But like, he does a podcast, and for the static image of the podcast, we do a selfie of us. So like, if he puts it out every day, then we have like a selfie of ourselves for every day. So we'll be just smiling at you while he talks at you for an hour and a half or something like that. And if people get really are like, I don't know about that, then we can do like a picture of out the room, the view. What's our view of? So people can just like zone out and be like, we could hear about how they're trying to not get married when they want to get married. And look at the view in France. There goes the cattle. Okay, today, so I don't know. Okay, so then up next is work. So writing and reading. What we don't say. Well, sometimes we don't say what we don't say because we're scared. So I'm like, well, do I have any of the stuff I need to write or to read? How do we get shipments in for writing and reading? Oh, I have no idea. My schedule has been disrupted for 1.25 years. So there's a bit of like, just, I can't say because I don't know. But then like, what if the 1.25 year thing happens again and again? Then I have something to build on each time it happens, right? Yeah, and be sweet and be like, society is in harmony in one thing. And let's all work with that. You know, the 1.25 year thing. I mean, yeah, okay. And then after a little bit, so we're living together. It's been like, I don't know how long. It's been a little bit. Again, I said something, what we don't say because I don't know how long, right? A little bit. Leon talks to the concierge to see if he can move one of the beds from his suite into our suite. He's like, oh yeah, you guys gotta scoot over. Push those beds aside, here comes mine. So we gotta move the bed from his hotel room to our hotel room, but it's a suite, okay? So then we got 3 people living in the suite, okay? And then at the end of it all, exact release at 1.25 years. So society goes all break free mode. Here we go. We've been penned up for 1.25 years. We're free. We can all celebrate the freedom of movement. And it becomes a harmonious, we all get to understand freedom in one sense that is shared, but does not infringe upon the restricted movement of people who are in concentration camps in World War II. Okay? Because ours is only 1.25 years. Okay? But it does allow us to glean a little bit of what was so different between those people in the 1.25 years is 1.25 years is a set duration, especially if followed, right? So it'd be very different than World War II where the end of the war was uncertain versus like the end date. Whereas with the 1.25 years, the uncertainty comes in at will they adhere to the exact 1.25 year duration. And what we don't say, well, we can say a lot, but does it matter in the end if none of it comes true? Well, at least we thought it through. So those are my movie notes on what we don't say. 2019 film, 22 June 2024 viewing. Happy day to you.